What is going on, everyone? It is Foul Play here. We're back for match number 3 of this modern league. We won the die roll, so we're going to be kicking things off on the play here. We get this hand that's very reliant on Dryad Arbor with only white auras, and the Dryad Arbor has to be fetched. We do have the Totem Armor, but overall I think we can do better than this hand. Alright, well this is strictly worse, no creature at all. Alright, we'll keep this one. We'll bottom a land. And I think we'll go ahead and... like, this Bogle can just be a good clock on its own. I think ditching the Spirit Dancer here is right. We have like a 4-powered trampling first strike creature, so... it's very tempting to take the Spirit Dancer there, but... we've got like guaranteed good auras as opposed to chancing drawing good auras, right? Alright, looks like we're versing a Titan deck. So perhaps Core Spirit Dancer would have been the better way to go there. Let's just go ahead and play out our auras though. And we'll go for what deals the most damage, right? We shouldn't have to worry about an explosives effect this turn, although potentially they can do that. Would get the Rancor back and then would have a warrior token over the Glade Cover Scout, so we'd lose our Cartouche Solidarity. Double Amulet of Vigor. Well. I mean, there's potential for a main deck explosives here to absolutely blow us out. I do think we have to race though with how little we have going on in this hand. Azusa, yikes. This is going to be a turn 2 Titan. Well, that's 5 mana. Dryad of Lycian Grove, alright. So they can potentially get themselves up to 6 now, but they're just playing the breeding pool instead. Alright. Still an extremely good turn for my opponent. Tribe Scout, yeah. Castle Garenbrig. Wait, what? So you had everything except the Titan in hand? Interesting. Another Cartouche. Alright, these vigilance tokens aren't doing the very much here at all, but we will attack for 6 and our opponent just takes it. So suppose if we draw an Ethereal Armor, we're threatening lethal at this point. And you know, we're obviously potentially in a lot of trouble against a Primeval Titan here. That'll just have us stone dead to the Valakut triggers. So they can Simic Growth Shaper from hand, floating 4 mana, activate Castle Garenbrig. As long as they have the Titan or the Summoners pack, they can go for it here. Selesnya Sanctuary, so they're actually showing us a different land now. Okay, well, I'll take it. For a Mulder 5, I'd say we drew definitely above average here. So we can threaten our opponent down to 1, then we can attack with the Vigilance tokens next turn to threaten a bit of extra damage through the chump blockers. Looks like our opponent had everything except the Titan this game. So we are extremely fortunate from what could have been a turn 2 Titan to our opponent just missing out. Alright, so we do take out the Leyline of Sanctities in this matchup, and then we want to bring in some creature / enchantment removal to deal with this Dryad of the Lycian Grove. So usually we want something like that. Suppression field can interrupt like their fetches or their like Slayer stronghold activation, but what like best it's gonna buy a turn. I don't really think that's good enough. Obviously we want all our totem armor effects given what we're versing. We also kind of want our 2 mana effects as well. We do have to trim slightly. I might trim on a land and a cartouche, and we'll go into it. A reminder to everyone as well, if you do enjoy the content and haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe. We got daily videos here, one-stop place for anything Bogles. That's your jam. Alright, well we see this 7-card hand here, and it leaves something to be desired for, right? So obviously no auras, we have to mulligan. Alright, this is a lot better, but doesn't have any form of life gain. I'm going to bottom the Temple Garden. Go for the most life-conserving route. Fortunately, we do have Totem Armor in hand, which could play an important part. Yes, we can also slow roll the Griff Spoon effect, leave it a little bit secret. Run it with double Tribe Scout. I'd say that's a card that's probably not as good in multiples, but my opponent potentially have 5 mana on their turn 3 as a result of double Tribe Scout. Alright, so I'm just going to extend the Rancor down here. And I guess we could be in a bit of trouble if our opponent's on Force of Vigor, but extending Rancor down does sort of hedge a little bit, right? Because at least we get one of the auras back. I do like Rancor against Force of Vigor in that spot, like a turn 2 Force of Vigor like this, because although it's like a pretty good 2 for 2, you get your aura back, right? Like, we've got a pretty aura-dense hand for what's remaining as well. But yeah, things like Rancor and Sentinel's Eyes, getting them back from an effect like that can be absolutely massive. Make all the difference. And it has now got 5 mana on the battlefield. So obviously they can bounce this land and then later on for 7 mana activate it. Alright, well we'll just extend almost everything. Guess there's possibility we wanted the Griffspoon over the Cartouche there. I think we just want to use the Warrior token as a blocker. Obviously, if our opponent looks like they're going to set up for an Engineered Explosives, maybe we'll want to go in on the Warrior token, but we do have the Totem Armor and a Spirit Mantle on the Scout. We'll get our Rancor back. Likely we're okay. Here, if we do put Griffspoon on the Warrior token and my opponent doesn't have a blocker with Reach, we will actually be able to just kill them. But it looks like they're going for the Titan here. They've got the Slayer's Stronghold, but they shouldn't be able to activate it this turn. They can, however, get Valakut, shoot my Warrior token, shoot my face. So I can go like double Valakut, and that's 4 triggers, right? And then there's potential to draw some more lands from hand. Oh, Crumbling Visage. Or they might actually be able to give haste here. Bounce it, play the Crumbling Vestige, however you say it. Alright. That's extremely terrifying. I think we might be dead. Well, if given the chance, I'll just block the Dryad of Elysian Grove with the Warrior token. I guess it's going to depend on if he's got land in hand as to whether or not he can kill us as well. So that's just 20 damage between that and the Titan. So obviously just a turn too slow. Here's what the Titan deck does though, right? As opposed to the very... wait. I know my shortcuts, right? As opposed to like game one where they didn't do that much. Alright, we're on the play. We might want our land back in. Might like trim on the cartouche as well. It's not really a standout there. We'll submit and get into it. Alright, so we see this pretty excellent 7 with Daybreak, Force of Vigor, Path to Exile. It's definitely a keep. Alright, opponent has Mulligan down to 5, but they are the sort of deck that does Mulligan reasonably well. I mean, I guess that's probably not the best statement. They're a combo deck, they like their cards, but they're sort of similar to Tron in a sense that as long as they can establish their mana and they have a thing to play, they're still in a reasonable spot, right? They probably mulligan worse than Tron does, realistically. Alright, so we'll Scout Pass. Obviously, a turn 1 Amulet would be a very good start for my opponent. It's a turn 1 Talaria West, though. We do find the Hyena Umbra, that's one I'm happy to see. Alright, so I could be extending into a Force of Vigor here. It would take my opponent down to 3 cards in hand, with only 1 land on the field. Okay, so we're just getting in for the damage there. And obviously in that scenario, we'd get the Rancor back as well. The important question is, if our opponent does have a Force of Vigor, when's the right time to pull the trigger on the Coronet? I suppose if I draw another aura this turn, well, I guess we have to establish how much he progresses this turn, progresses his mana or his board state. I'm just going to run out the Spider Umbra here and attack for 5, hold up the path. Okay, so he's just happy taking that damage in that spot. Yes, downside to running out the Spider Umbra is if my opponent is going for the engineered explosives, I've just thrown away another 1 mana aura. Yeah, so we are seeing that here. We're like reasonably far ahead here though, so I don't think it's the end of the world. He does pop this before damage, which is completely reasonable. So we'll hit him to 9. And I think we just want to hold up Path to Exile here, maybe. If we Rancor, we have 7 damage next turn if we have everything perfect. So I guess 8 with the Warrior, actually. I don't think there's a world where we kill him if we play the Rancor this turn. Okay. Let's get rid of this Dryad of Lycian Grove with our Rancor in force. Alright, we'll see if they've got an answer to our enchantments. Alright, so we get in, we put them to 3. We're holding up Path. They've got 3 cards in hand. And they've got access to enough mana to play a Primeval Titan, but perhaps not do much else after that. Opponent concedes. Alright. Well, we did play this a little bit patiently. It helped that our opponent mulliganed down, and yeah, we played it a bit patiently. I think it was a bit of a misplay playing the Spider Umbra when we did, because we had a little bit of a read on the explosives. And I guess we're a little bit fortunate to draw the Cartouche so we can then play the Daybreak and etc. I think other than that though, we played it pretty tight in the other 2 games. So as always guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to let me know what you think down below. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.